prior to your departure, in which for security reasons of the highest importance has been known on board during the mission. Now that you are in Jupiter's space, and the entire crew is revived, it can be told. 18 months ago, the first evidence of intelligent life off the Earth was discovered. It was buried 40 feet below the lunar surface, near the crater Titan. Except for a single, very powerful radio emission aimed at Jupiter, the 4-million-year-old black monolith has remained completely inert. Its origin and purpose still a total mystery.
I'm the man, yes, sir, that killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewiz.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. We still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from hunger pain.
right, man. Let's go ahead and get this thing going.
Yeah,
They know what it is. They know what it is.
Let's get
We
it.
got some people in the chat, so we
What up?
are about to talk about Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying?
K.Dot. Let's get it.
K.Dot. All right. Mr. Morale in the big steps. All right.
Yes. Big
You know
step.
what I'm saying? A big step. You know what I'm
Hold on,
saying?
I gotta get my thing. Hold on. Light in
And
the
the
front.
big
There we go.
steps. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be doing with the big steps. All right. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go here, and we're gonna go here, and we're gonna
We're
go
going here.
there.
We're gonna take you there. We're gonna take you there.
Anywhere, we're gonna take you here, take you there. So
Take you there.
NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places. Hit the thumbs up if you like what you see in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all them places. Shout out to Kid at Heart. Shout out to Antoine
Heart.
Allen being here early in the
Antoine
chat.
Allen.
Shout out to
Peace,
Jenna
peace.
James. All right.
James. Peace.
Yo, now, of course, NERDSoul right here, hip hop and geek put it together, but I'm not by myself. Right over here,
Over here.
the
right
sound
over here.
provider. You know what I'm saying? Beat making extraordinaire. All right. Just drop Blango. I get to you, Arckatron.
Hey y'all, it's me Arckatron, and the place to be. That's ARCKATRON. ThatNERDSoul.com is where you can find me, and I'm here, and we here, NERDSoul, about to talk about, Kendrick Lamar's new, his latest project.
Yeah. Latest little piece of music he put out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Latest little jam.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't did nothing to nobody. He ain't hurt nobody. He just minding his business, putting music out. Now, before we get to that, I gotta shout out to Arckatron and ask him this week, what have you been listening to?
Man, I'm still in that Dilla rabbit hole, man. It's a deep, steep hole. But other than that, I guess because I'm on my phone is there. I'm like, probably just more of my stuff. I've been actually have an extension to Blango, so
okay.
I'll pass it on more. I'm thinking about doing like a kind of a big crew track. So we'll talk about that. You're included, so we'll talk about that.
Well, why? Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. For me, a little bit of some Rick James, some New Jabiz, some Blango, and the little guy in the car loves that Mary Mary and some Ty Tribbett. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We gonna praise him up in the whip.
I've actually met Ty Tribbett in real life.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
All right, so is he crazy or is he cool? You know?
Oh, he's like a rocket ship, man. Like he's great. Like he's a ball of energy. He's great.
What up?
when I met him like 15 years ago. That is.
Oh,
like, this
old Tribbett, or young Tribbett, and yeah.
Yeah. I met him and his brother, both of them. Thaddeus. Yeah, both of them. They're cool. Cool people.
All right, cool. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, what's jam? You know what I'm saying? I think this might be better. I'll also put this in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Are you feeling K.Dot's new joint? You know what I'm saying?
That's the question.
Are you feeling it? You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard some murmurings.
Yeah.
In the hip hop community. There are some people that ain't like it. There are some people that ain't like it.
Yeah, everybody cast your vote for this one. Cast your vote.
You want to cast your vote? I'm gonna throw it to you, Arckatron, first. Are you even feeling it? Like before we even review it, are you even feeling it?
Yes, I'm feeling it. That's right, cool. I mean, do you want more?
Cool. I just wanted to gauge the level of your answer, like the enthusiasm in your voice.
Okay.
Yeah, as well.
Okay.
I'm still there, still a fan, still interested in what he's got to say. So.
Okay.
What were your initial thoughts coming off the album? Like, or even as you were listening to it, how are you feeling about it?
Okay, first listen, I got through like 6 songs. Cause I was just doing, so I just wanted to put it on as it came out. Day came out, I listened to like 6 songs, and I was like, "Ooh, this is interesting." Then I like did something. I came back maybe an hour later, and I continued from those 6 songs. And the first 6, I was like, "Man, what is?" I like some of this, but I don't know about these other songs. I don't know how this all fits in. So then I started with like, I think it was either just before Purple Hearts, like just before the last song on the first side, like track 8. And I'm like, cool. And then Purple Hearts came. I'm like, okay. Now it seems like this album is turning around in the sonic equation that I like. I'm like, okay.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Because then you got Count Me Out, you got Crown. I'm like, woof. And then you got Saviors tracks.
Yep.
And then you got, so I'm like, it's getting like, it's just building to this like, almost like what he was going through too, in a way of like, these are the problems and maybe these are some of the answers, but not all the answers.
Okay.
So like a question and answer kind of situation. So I got that vibe the first time listening to it. It was more like maybe just a hint of it, and then the second time is when I got the full like, oh, okay. I see this as being like a duality kind of thing, like two sides of a different coin or something. Or
unfortunately, I haven't been able to listen to the album 2 and 3 times like I would normally do. I've only listened to it once.
Okay.
So the first half of the album, I'm like, I'm trying to figure out like where we going, because in Butterfly and
Damn,
yeah, Butterfly and Damn, you kind of get the trajectory early on. So I was just like, this is good. Raps are there, beats are there, but I know you always come in with some kind of like, there's a message behind, there's a story behind, there's a narrative behind something. So I'm like, what's going on? And I'm listening, I'm like, I'm feeling this, but I just, I'm just trying to dial in. But when we get to Crown, like, right, pretty much, like, on the real, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. From Crown to the end of the album, could have been the whole album for me. Straight up.
Facts.
Now,
Facts.
Not that I dislike United Grief, not that I don't like Rich Spirit or Purple Hearts, but Count Me Out is this kind of turning point. And from Crown to the end, I was like, salute.
Salute. Sir, you have it. You have my attention, sir. Yeah.
You have my attention.
Pretty much. I felt the same way. I was like, yo, I was just like locked all the way in. I'm like, yes, I want to hear more.
I was like, Ark, I hear a sound. What's up?
No.
I didn't know, what I'm saying? I know we got audience engagement. Matter of fact,
we just I just had someone, we just said me too.
Normally, the person that's on the side is used to be in the chat dropping mad knowledge on us, but now this person is like off the side, but it's still, we still here.
Yeah.
Oh man, so the album goes from like, okay, cool, word up, I feel what you're saying, and then it just goes whoop. it's like oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. There was. I don't know if that was purposely done, but man, it picks up in a way where you're like, oh. I just feel the Crown. He should just. If he probably already shot the video, but if they're making a video for it, they need to do one. It needs to be very theatrical and very like Hamlet, or like he got a crown. He's sitting on the throne or something like. Just something. Like, it just seems like that was like a moment.
The sort of album art, you kind of get this. He's I love it because he's trying. Whether you like it or not, you see him trying. He swings for the fences. Like you see Kendrick Lamar like, okay, cool. I want to do something different. I want to try to, turn from maybe what I did before, or give another side of what I've done before, or maybe make a new musical statement. The thing that I like about this, and then we'll get into the deeper stuff. Well, I'll hit the chat stuff for a second, but this album is a specific statement musically. And that's what I like.
Yeah. I would say that it's one of those like, this is another like fixed point in time that can't be changed. Kendrick Lamar album dropped, and it's stuck. It's just there. It's not, people are not gonna forget this moment with this album and the first time you heard it. Even if it doesn't go out as a classic, there's some very interesting moments on this album, and maybe like first for hip hop. You know what I mean? In this kind of, on this level. You know what I mean? The context, the content is like some of the first I've heard like really like spoken about in the way that it was on this particular album. And at the level that he's at, 5 albums, 6 albums, some people say 5 albums in, it's pretty big.
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw it to
the moment.
I'll throw it to the chat real quick. We got Jenna James says, love the album, but I peeped what the label and execs did getting in his ear, pushing the agenda stuff on the Auntie Diary track. Huh, interesting. Now I don't know any story behind that, but because that seemed like something that was near and dear to him. I don't know if it's just
maybe it wasn't
him telling a story, or if it's something that like kind of like went was part of his life or whatever. Because it comes off, at least to me, it comes off natural, but maybe that's also part of being a poet, where you're like, someone who's able to tell stories. It should seem natural, even though maybe that's not really part of his life. I don't know, but it seemed genuine. But I don't really know any story behind it.
Even if it's like second, first, third hand, like the way he tells the story, it makes it feel like it's literally him.
Yeah.
So he's one of those kind of like, he's a storyteller. In a way where he brings you in, and like he has it, to kind of get everyone's attention,
I don't know what it is, but he's got it.
Yeah, he's got yeah.
So Zeus comes and says, with all due respect, the album was not made for you to enjoy. I guess talking about us, maybe. Jenna. But it was made to talk about the issues he dealt with in his family as a black man and also in the world. But most important, to open a dialogue about the taboo in black culture. So in other other words, this ain't an album for us. This is a personal therapeutic album for him to let some of that family trauma be heard in art form. And this is kind of like what we go back and forth through, if that's the case, because I'm not sure, I haven't seen any interviews or whatever. This kind of aligns to sort of what Kweli was talking about, was like, I don't care if y'all like it. You know what I'm saying? This is our album. And it's like, well, no, that's not particularly true. If that was the case, you would have never released it. So it's not just for you. It's for all of us. Now, you might not like our criticism or our response to it, but if it was just for you, then you would have done it just for you.
Let's kept it to yourself.
Yeah, let's not fool ourselves or fool one another into thinking that this isn't also a business. You know what I'm saying? Like I got love for Kendrick Lamar, and I don't know, this might be, part of, he might have said this himself, I don't know. But the whole thing of putting out art is to elicit a response of some sort. You know what I'm saying? So the idea of like, hey, this ain't an album for us, then why'd he give it to us? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, and I mean, not to say that there's something wrong with Uzius, but there have been other artists that have said similar things, and it's like, stop it. Like, you put it out so that people can listen to it and hopefully enjoy it. You're adding to the tapestry of the history of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, because like when Kweli said that, I was just like, I don't particularly agree. But Arckatron, how do you feel about that?
Like, as creators, you create, and like you have some stuff that you don't let people hear. You're like, maybe a little too personal, or maybe you just feel it's not ready. But there's music you release, or things, or art that you create that you want people to see. You want people to have, I guess, you want people to see it, but not have their opinions about it. I guess it's weird that like you can't have.
It's like, look at this, but don't say anything.
Yeah. Look at the art, but don't say anything about the art. Don't have any criticisms towards
just
the art.
Like it.
And I'm like that. You have to be prepared for that. There's going to be criticisms in everything. Everything you do, someone's going to criticize something. So I feel just let people just have their opinions about it, and you understand that their opinions are valid to them, to their circumstance. Like everyone is entitled to their opinions. So just let it be, let it fly. I mean, them talking about it more is what you want anyway. You want to just have it be put out and then no one talks about it? I guess you don't want, nobody wants that, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, so Solar Gray says, art versus capital, the age-old debate. I don't even think it's a debate anymore. People delude themselves. It's capital. Now, it's creative, but it's capital. You're taking money for this. Like, don't delude yourself. Now, at the same time, I'm a production artist. So, you know, even though being like, I've made music, I continue to make music, I still continue to write songs. I haven't put them all out, but I'm on the like day-to-day side, I'm a production artist. Graphic design, websites, photography. People tear my stuff down all the time, iterate on it all the time, deadlines all the time. So I'm like, criticism is part of the game. Criticism is how you whittle this thing down to get it out the door. So that's how I see art a little bit differently, because it's like, okay, yes, I'm making this thing that is creative, but it's not for me. It's to be used. And if it is for me, I shouldn't be releasing it, because you can't have it both ways. I can't release it and be like, no, it's only mine. You can't.
I released it for me. I only
it's only
it
mine.
For myself.
You can't say anything.
It's my music. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
All right, it's the first. It's YouTube.
Oh!
Hey, YouTube.
Oh!
Hey, YouTube.
Yo, the Lord. Yo, man, look. Salute, you know what I'm saying? Hashtag black dads in the house, you know what I'm saying?
Say hi to YouTube. Say hi to Mike. Say hi to NERDSoul. NERDSoul.
What's up? And you know what I'm saying? Lord guy looking good, got the hoodie on, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
They're about to go on a walk.
Gotta stretch your legs, get your workout on.
Get some sun. You know, he wants the keyboard. See, he wants the keyboard. Oh no, he wants the keyboard.
Oh man. But then let's see. Kenneth Hart says, so if a man bears his soul on a track and tells you their experience and truth on wax, they gotta always be pushing somebody else's agenda. That's crazy. So this is something that I'm getting pieces of as you guys are talking. Someone let me know, is this something that he said in like an interview, like this is definitely about him? Or is it something where something came through where it's like, oh no, the like record execs kind of wanted him to make a statement about LGBTQIA plus issues. So I don't know. Let me know in the chat, because I don't know either way. But I guess we'll get into favorite tracks, because they've been talking about favorite tracks in the chat. What's a favorite chat? I mean, what's your favorite track?
The favorite track for me is the one that turned the album around for me. There was some good stuff in the first half of it, like really good stuff, like some really good like stuff. But for me, it's "Count Me Out" is where it literally just turns, and I'm like, I am all at attention, sir. I'm all ears. This is the moment. And then "Crown" and then a Savior it just keeps going up. It just keeps going up.
Yeah.
So for me, it's "Count Me Out." "Count Me Out" was the first one I had to go and look to see what track is this, what name is this. This one I have to remember. That's when I know it's something. When I go look at the phone to see which track this is, I like going blind. I'm like, what?
Oh man!
Yeah, I'm like, what track is this again? Because this one needs to be played over and over. This is a good one. So "Count Me Out" is the one.
I agree with you on "Count Me Out." "Count Me Out" is strong, because that's what turned me around from listening oh, there's some good stuff, but I don't know how to. But "Count Me Out" is like that turning point where it's like, oh, hold on. Okay, all right, something's going. But "Crown" for me is the one where I'm like, oh, yeah.
"Crown" is fire. "Crown" was my number 2.
"Crown" is yeah. So you and I are kind of swapped. "Crown" is number 1 for me, and "Count Me Out" is number 2, and you "Count Me Out" is number 1, and "Crown" is number 2. So it's then after "Crown," the rest of the album just continues to soar. Okay, there has been the argument of Kendrick Lamar there has been the argument of Kendrick Lamar not having the same contemporaries as, other time periods of, rappers, MCs, whatever. To kind of like, I don't know, kind of like diminish his accomplishments. And I mean, there is validity in that argument to a certain degree, but even though, because no matter how you try to attack this, people gonna be mad. Like, what you trying to say? Rap ain't good? No, I'm just saying there's a distinct level of artistry that Kendrick is at least aiming for. At least we can agree that he's at least aiming for that it doesn't seem others are. And that seems like an aim that was usually targeted in older, eras of hip hop. We'll never know. It's
kind of like, I guess, aiming for like a higher level of art. I guess you would. That's what you're trying to say. Like, I don't.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, Kendrick, y'all just love Kendrick." Because I've seen a thread like this on Facebook and Twitter saying, "Oh, y'all just like Kendrick because there ain't no good rappers no more. So he ain't got no competition," kind of thing. But I mean, we'll never know because like LeBron can't play with James Worthy. You know what I'm saying? Or like Dr. J can't play now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So
it's
like LeBron argument too. Like he's not as good because he never played. Like his contemporaries aren't as good. Like they're so far away from him that is he that good? Because there was no, Kobe was on the tail end of his career when LeBron came in, or mid to tail end. So he's not his contemporary. You have Carmelo Anthony, who hasn't won a championship. Who probably won last. I don't know who's winning anymore, but I believe he may have one or not have one. I think they lost last year. Either way, he ain't got one. You got Wade has 3. But 2 of them were with LeBron. Yeah, 3 and one was with Shaq.
But would Wade be considered a LeBron contemporary? Maybe
he is. I would say they're in the same draft.
So I say I would consider them, but it's you can't really.
It ain't LeBron's fault. Is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, like, it's not Kendrick's fault that he exists now. And I would make the argument that his music would be maybe not. See, to translate what he would talk about then to what he talk, it's too hard. But I will say, for what I expect from rappers in general, musicians in general, especially in hip hop, is to just carry the torch from the people that inspired you. And it seems like he is carrying the torch from those that inspired him, from, trying to be very specific over the musical choices as far as like just the beats, the music, the instrumentation in general, to what he says. And marrying those together in specific statements like butterfly, damn, and now this. Or was it damn, butterfly, and this? Butterfly. Damn.
Butterfly. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, butterfly, damn.
So,
and morale. We're just talking morale.
Morale. And morale. So I'd say he is someone who is carrying the torch of those that are looking for people to, I don't know, for lack of a better phrase, aim higher.
Yeah. I feel like he's taking what happened previously before him, the rappers and moves and like the artistry of hip hop, and he's bottled it up. He shook it around, and he said, "This is Kendrick Lamar," and it's an embodiment of what I feel the level that people should be. I feel like should try to achieve to. Yeah. To kind of feel like it's a competition instead of like he's just running away with the race. And everyone else is just like, well, he's the worst because he's better than all. Like his music is, you just like him because we're not trying to try anymore. We're not trying in hip hop anymore. That is, it's like the argument is they're just doing different hip hop. They're just doing different styles of hip hop. There's one way to go about it, and there's a Kendrick Lamar way to go about it. It's just different. It's just all different, and it should be different. We would want to hope for different, you know.
Yeah. Solar Gray says, would you say that in topics like this, it's a case of artists aging and evolving while the market keeps aiming for new audiences that haven't grown as much? I don't know, because there's always there's a market for everything, you know. Now, maybe because sometimes the industry will lie to you or hide their biases in the market. So for instance, okay, let's look at Hollywood real quick. Kind of close, you know, entertainment, you know, kind of close. You know, some rappers be acting like they can rap. So like it's kind of close. So Hollywood, sometimes if you want to do a TV show or do something, Hollywood will be like, this won't work with middle America. Now, they never explain to you who middle America is. They never delineate the states, the cities, the towns. They never show you the ratings of those states, cities, towns. They never show you any studies, any polls, but they just blame it on middle America. So what they'll say is, all right, a black male lead with a black woman and their team that is in space doing something. They'll be like, oh, well, you know, middle America won't like that. It's like, well, will middle America not like that, or will you not like that? Because who's the middle America representative that said that they don't like this? Like, where are they at? Where's the polls? Where's the ratings? But it's always thrown on that. So similar in this way, I think there are a lot of A&Rs, record executives, things like that. They'll be like, oh, well, that's not what the kids want. Do you know?
Yeah,
Did you know the kids wanted TikTok? Did you know the kids? I mean, do you really know what the kids wanted?
MP3s. We'll go way back. MP3s were like shunned. MP3s. That would never catch on.
Huh.
That's why Napster became big, because we were like, yeah, we want MP3s. We want music quicker. We want it on our computers. We want it right now. Shout out to all the Napster folks back in the day.
Shout out to Napster. Shout out to LimeWire. You know what I'm saying?
LimeWire. Morpheus.
Shout out to, what was it, Morpheus or whatever?
Morpheus. Whereas Morpheus, there's a bunch of them. LimeWire had LimeWire. That gave me so much virus. But yeah, back to the topic.
And then also the argument of, well, this isn't what the kids want. Well, how do you know I'm making albums for kids? I could be making albums for my peer group. I don't know, say I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50, whatever. Well, I'm not making albums for kids, i.e., I don't even know what you term kids. You might term 20-year-olds kids that are not kids, they are adults. So who are the kids? And then am I even making music for them? And you realize people don't die after like 25, like they keep on living. And as
we were like
medical
past 25. Jokes on you. We
still
alive.
So
kids sing. Yeah.
So this idea that nothing can exist in entertainment for anyone above 25 or 30, you're losing a large segment of money that you're just not even trying to get. So this kind of thing gets bandied about all the time of like, oh, well, this won't work because of this. And it's like, or you have to do it this way because of this. And I think if someone like Kendrick Lamar bought into that type of thing, we wouldn't have these types of albums. He wouldn't be working with people like Flying Lotus. I mean, Flying Lotus is not, I mean, he's hot in those streets, but he's not hot in those streets. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
People like Flying Lotus. Yeah, even like his production, like he's been working with some interesting people. He's been working with.
But I mean, his name doesn't like. It's not like people coming like Pharrell and people like, oh, and like they're like Flying Lotus, like, oh yeah, wait,
yeah, Flying Lotus. Yeah, I've heard one song. I've heard a beat or two.
So with that said, so Solar Gray said the kids thing is what I was asking about. So yeah, So basically, yeah, I think the kids thing is something that's thrown in arguments just to kind of shut artists up or to place artists in a certain position you want them in when, you can have stuff for kids, adults, everything doesn't have to be PG-13, you know what I'm saying, to survive. So that's how I feel about that. But like with an album like this album is definitely one that I wouldn't say is maybe widely accessible in their terms, but this is an album that's solid on all levels, and it definitely got dope beats and dope rhymes, man. Like it's kind of got.
It's that simple, but it's not the way he does it. It's not that.
It's weird. It's like it's simple. If you say, "Yo, you need dope beats and you need dope rhymes," you be like, "Oh, okay, cool, no problem." Get to work.
Dope beats, dope rhymes. Dope beats, dope rhymes. Cool, got it in.
Cool. Let me type in dope beats. Like you put it in Google.
Yeah, dope beats. I need dope beats. Cool.
Oh man, you open Serato or you open what's the joint Pro Tools and you're like dope beats. You turn on your MPC, you're like dope beats. Like it just comes right out.
Yeah, it don't work that way. But I wish it did. I mean, that'd be easy.
It'd be awesome if it did. But I mean, there's like perfect example. I gotta finish that video because I still got editing for the video. But I got a joint. I even got a show I got coming with a whole bunch of different artists and stuff. But I got a joint. I was recording two. Guess what? One got scrapped because the dope beats and the dope rhymes did not match, and the rhymes was not as dope. The rhymes was dope, but then when the rhymes was being spoke, it didn't work.
It was a nope.
So it was a nope. But this is one that I really feel like is necessary for right now. Similar to what Jenna James was saying, with between this album and the latest season of Atlanta, between this season of Atlanta and the album, Donald Glover and K.Dot are treasures to the community. Yeah, I ain't gonna front. Like they came through. You know what I'm saying?
I still gotta.
K.Dot be making you wait.
But he started Atlanta. I gotta start Atlanta. I ain't never seen that one episode. I'm tripping. Am I tripping, Mike? Am I tripping?
I know. No, because you can't see everything all the time. I know it's tough to see everything, but when you do see it, especially since you've been involved in music, you're still involved in music. You perform, you do interviews and stuff like. It's gonna be a part of, especially season one, that you're gonna be like, oh, and then like season two, it's gonna get funnier and crazier, and it's like Atlanta.
I gotta watch it. I like
surreal, it's crazy, and it's also Black life.
Yeah.
Man. Check it. Shot by Nolan said, "Get on that Atlanta in your downtime."
Downtime. Did you see
that little miniaturized baby?
There's no downtime. My downtime is looking right now. You know what I mean? We gotta work. Gotta talk about this album.
It don't get no. It gets funnier, but it don't get no better. Like I got a 4-year-old. 4-year-old be like, go in the other room, tell on me real quick. Like, I can't be in there. Lisa be like, why? I'd be like, Dad's watching things with bad words. I'd be like, he said 2 bad words. I'm like, first, why are you counting them? Like,
he counted the bad words.
He said 2.
I can count 2.
Dad, that was 2 bad words. All right, just letting you know, you getting the quota.
The quota.
So you got to figure out like, all right, I'm not as tired, and he's asleep. So, but it'd be like, Dad, first of all, I don't want to watch this. I want to watch Parents Kids. Also, you're not supposed to be watching stuff with bad words. No, you not supposed to be watching stuff. You're not even supposed to be in here. Oh man. But with all that said, you know, with the argument of like, you know, with, you know, who you're making the album for, should it be for yourself, the kind of pantheon of rap album and everything, what is, or where, final thoughts, Arckatron. Final thoughts, where can they find you on not only the album, but where do you think this places him, you know, in the pantheon of rap? Like, do you think this cements him as like, okay, you kind of like you're heading towards legendary status now?
He's definitely he's definitely like, if there's a train for legendary status, he's on the train. He may be like in the front of 2 cars. Like he's almost there.
Yeah.
I feel this album is just, again, it's solidified. Like where you have, okay, there's only like a few people in rap history that has like 5 straight joints. Like very few. Like straight. Now no clunkers in between. Straight.
Yeah. Straight.
And there's only one other person I can think of right now. And his name starts with a K too.
I know who you talking about, and I'll give him his.
There's somewhere you can mix it up. If you like College Dropout to the 5, or you like 808s into the, there's room for everybody.
There's another person who has, you know, people are, so we'll touch that in a second, but going to finish your final thought. Sorry.
Yeah, he's definitely legend. Like for me, he's on his way to legendary. This album is it's just another showing of like, we always think like, oh, what is he gonna do next? Like, what's he gonna do next? I always have that feeling about the anticipation about his albums. So when I heard it, I was like, okay, sounds like there's some Damn in there, there's some Pimp and Butterfly in there. But as you go through it, you're like, oh no, this is a different experience. This is a totally different experience. And that, I always like tip my hat to things like that, where like it gives you the experience and you feel kind of what he was going for. In the end, you're like, yeah, this makes sense now. And then the thing is, one of those albums where if you listen to it multiple times, you'll break it down to the point where you get the full, a better picture, not the full picture. And then you appreciate it way more. And that's stuff that I feel becomes timeless, because every time you put it into the CD player, it's a different experience, or like you get something from it each time. You pull something away from like, ooh, yeah, ooh, that line, that didn't catch me the first 10 times, but that 11th time, ooh, that's a dope line. Like that kind of stuff, like the album keeps living with you, and then you keep putting it in rotation, and then maybe you don't listen for 10 years. You come back 10 years later, and you're like, yo, I'm sleeping. This was that fire. You know what I mean? Like it might be ahead of its time. People might not be ready for it.
True.
It might be the first one that people say, I like that example. Let's do more of this. Let's rap. Let's step it up. This is a high watermark right here. This is the highest watermark. This is it. He's hit it. Like he's over it again. He's raised it up again. So everybody just, be happy. He did it again.
He did it. The boy done did it again.
That's my final thoughts.
All right, where can they find you?
You can find me at arckatron.com. We back. Arckatron.com is back, baby. Let's get back.
Right.
And all it is right now is straight to the point. If you like me, you like what I'm talking about, and you most likely, you know what? You might like my music. So go to arckatron.com. There's music there. So it's right on the page. All you gotta do is hit play. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. And that's it. You'll be good.
Buy the album. You know what I'm saying? Buy that album.
Just buy the album. There's albums. Buy the album. There's like 10 albums on there. It's like 10 or 11 or 12. I lost count. So there's albums up there.
And I'm on a couple of them. Literally a couple. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Drop a little bit of coin.
Drop something in the bucket. What's your final thought?
final thoughts is that I'll pick this up and we can talk real quick. Solar Gray says, who qualifies as legendary? I have like kind of two criteria. One is either cultural impact or longevity in terms of production, like output, like an output of things that are kind of considered good in the larger, discourse. So like for instance, like Tribe Called Quest would be considered legendary. De La Soul would be considered legendary. But then on into newer cases, Kanye West would be considered legendary. Now, I know. For y'all, I know. But musically, I'm not talking about nothing else. I'm talking
nothing
about
else.
With music, he would be considered legendary. I know he's on some other just musically, all right? Then honestly, when you're talking about output and longevity, another person that got like 5 or 6 joints that kind of rock is someone like Ludacris, where it's like, I don't know, where do we put him?
Really?
Because Ludacris got like 5 or 6 joints where it's like, he got flames. And it's like, but do I don't know where we put him. But
you don't get it. For me, it's the longevity. You don't get it for longevity. Because he's not really making. He's making music, but he's not really.
Yeah, I think Kendrick is on that track where, I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is what, the 3rd one in a row, 4th one in a row, where it's like, hey, homie's killing it. It is a literal, cohesive musical thought in this album, and it doesn't really cut corners. It's got emotion. It's got dope beats and dope rhymes. So I'd say he's well on his way. I mean, 1 or 2 more, and it's like, yo, man, you gotta give him his due. But then you got the other side of, you got someone like Drake, who I don't know if I'd put him in a category of like, say, lyricism or anything like that, but his impact on the culture being kind of like a hip hop megastar for so long, where do you put that? It's tough. Because he does have the cultural impact, and there are a lot of people that love his albums. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like,
I just don't think he has one album that's like top to bottom, like, this is it. He got jams. But I don't know about fully album top to bottom mega jams. I see what you're talking about. For me, but it's not.
But I see what you're talking about.
I'm rocking to some Drake though. There's some Drake that I'm like,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm banging with that.
But Shot by Nolan says, from overly dedicated to Mr. Morale, the musical growth is crazy. Yeah, and it like if you, it
even sounds different. I thought for a moment on this album, he sounded like K.Dot. I think he did it on purpose. It was super strange. I was like, does this sound like what he was rapping about? Was he was rapping about like an old flow or something? And he started to sound like the old, like K.Dot. I was like, wait, did he just do that? How did he do that? How do you go back to your old voice and like bring it forward? Like what? Yeah, his vocal game is supreme with the vocal game. Like he's twisting and bending his vocals in a way where.
I mean, well, you have the group. Ghostface. You have the group, but I mean, also Ghostface. But I mean, Wu-Tang is like a worldwide symbol of hip hop.
I was very happy to hear Ghostface. I was very happy that Ghostface was on that song. I was like, yes, this is great. It's great.
Yeah, so and Shot by Nolan says Crit is another one whose discography is legit. And yes, I remember when we reviewed that album and I was like, yo, I've been sleeping. We Forever is a Mighty Long Time, I think. I think that's the one we reviewed. I had been sleeping. I had heard a couple songs, but I had never like really listened to an album. I had been sleeping on Big Crit, and I'm impressed. Like, you come with it. So, you know, with Legendary, I'd have to say longevity, good longevity. Like, you know, you can't just be like just exist for a long time. But good longevity. Like good longevity as far as like you're dropping.
This is 10 years. I just realized that. I just realized this is 10 years of him releasing studio label albums. This is the 10th year because Good Kid came out in 2012. Okay. So it's been 10 years of him dropping heat, which is great. We'll see what the next 10 years.
And maybe 10 is all you need. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 10 is a long time. 10 years is a good amount of time to be musically consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then there's also people like Dre. Dre technically has like 2 albums technically, but he's a legend because of his cultural impact on hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
his is a weird one.
He's been around, but he only has like 2 albums, maybe 3.
But he also has a P word can be attached to his name now. Pioneer. He's definitely a pioneer. Like before Legendary, he is a pioneer because he ushered in the sound from a coast.
You're right.
He was representative, like I am the sound representative from the West Coast. I approve this message. I'm Dr. Dre. And we were like, this sounds like West Coast. So
there's also those people. So those people that ushered in sounds like Dre, I don't know, DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Timbaland.
Can say Manny Fresh.
Manny Fresh. Say what y'all want, but Manny Fresh held down. So
Pioneer.
you know, you got that other level where it's like not only are you a legend, but you're also a pioneer for the things that you brought like a spotlight to where you were from, where it just hadn't really existed before. So I think that's either cultural relevance or impact, or just like output for a long time. Like, so you got like LL. A lot of people laugh at LL now because he's like acting, you know, the bald head with the lips. Legend. But LL got heat.
LL is a legend.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's legendary.
So you gotta kind of I'd say that's what makes a legend. Either, you know, continuous output of just like heat, or a huge cultural impact that, you know, like stays forever. And then of course pioneers. So I think that's where I put it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where I put it. But and of course, as always, shouts out to De La, because De La has never broken up. And
De La are definitely legends.
And they've never ever dropped a whack joint. What happened to Bionics 3? AOI Part 3?
I don't think they ever came out with a third one. They only came out with 2 of them, right?
Was it like label drama or something?
There's Mosaic Thump and then just the Bionics one. And that's it.
Yeah. AOI Part 3 never came out. That would be crazy if tomorrow they were like AOI Part 3.
Yeah. Artificial intelligence, yeah. Yeah. That's
funny. Oh man. Yo, Solar Gray said, and I sided with Kool Mo D. Yo, don't sleep. Kool Mo D has this song where he's like, let's break down these L's. And he says like, he raps every L word that's like negative. Like lazy, lackadaisical, like all these, it's crazy. Yeah. It's like, yo, you gotta give him props because homie was like, oh, L, let's break down these L's. And it's just like every negative L term that exists, he used. And
so he sat there with the dictionaries, like,
and it was still fresh. It was still, I mean, for the time. I mean, if you listen now, you might just be like, all right. But for the time, it was hot. So, of course, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? Don't you tell me no lies. All right, hit that thumbs down if you like. I hate Kendrick Lamar. I hate you. I hate
Wow.
I hate your Timbos.
Wow.
But Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Share this, subscribe to this, all that stuff. We going up. We moving up. You know what I'm saying? I think we're at 4K, like in the middle of 4K. Let's go and get it to 5K.
4K. He was at 4K like 2 weeks ago. You talking about 4K?
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's slow growth.
You got
it's a slow
4.11K, sir. So that's 400 and 100 people with you.
So
don't 4,100.
All right.
Yeah.
4.11K.
Well, there's 10 people in it too.
Now we going to 5, and then 5, and then 6, and then we going to 8K, and then 10K, and then all the Ks. All right, that's where we going. But we ain't stopping at 3. All right, we're gonna skip 3 and go to the 4. All right, I'm just saying. So, much love to all y'all. We living with y'all some dope beats and dope black comics. Until next time, from us to you, thank you for chilling and peace.
Peace. And a woo for you.
For you and for you and for you. Oh boy!
Shout out to my niece.
Hey, shouts to I'll Go See, Elixir, Ollie Thieves, Arckatron, all the SP, all y'all. They be having dope beats.
PL, everybody.
Yeah, PL, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Yeah. And shout out to Anwar too.
Oh yeah, Anwar Highsign. You know what I'm saying? Peace. You know what I'm saying?
Peace,
and
peace,
I'm gonna holler at you later because we gotta talk about some art stuff later anyway. So anyway, love all y'all. We out.
Okay. All right.
You got to know that if you keep dwelling in the past, you will remain in the past. Can I get a fucking yeah?
Good day, gentlemen. This is a pre-recorded briefing made prior to your departure, in which for security reasons of the highest importance has been known on board during the mission. Now that you are in Jupiter's space and the entire crew is revived, it can be told you. 18 months ago, the first evidence of intelligent life off the Earth was discovered. It was buried 40 feet below the lunar surface, near the crater Titan. Except for a single, very powerful radio emission aimed at Jupiter, the 4-million-year-old black monolith has remained completely inert. Its origin and purpose still a total mystery.